Alright, so about 8 months ago, I tried to put together a non-devotion Frost deck, and it didn't go so well at all, right? It was actually so bad, it was embarrassing. But I wanted to try it again. It's been some time, and I think I got the recipe down a little bit better, guys. The previous version had a bunch of point slams, it had cards like Siri Dash, it had the Foglets, and, you know, a bit of Frost. This version runs out a bit smoother, especially with the rework of Lady of the Lake. Being able to play an Echo card, we have more ways to pull the cards we're looking for. We've got really good tried and true thinning packages that seem to just work. Lots of point slams, lots of inexpensive points. We have lots of good engines with Nagelfar's Crew, Ancient Foglets, etc. So the deck feels much better. Now, this isn't a meta deck, it's certainly an anti-meta deck or super off-meta deck, but it is pretty fun. Played it today on stream. I since then made some adjustments after playing a few more games, and this is the version that can win consistently. In my last 6 games, I won 4, I tied 1, and I lost 1. I'm going to be including 5 of those games for you guys today. I'm not going to be including the tie game because I feel like I didn't really play well enough for a deck guide, so that's why that one's not in there. However, you know, the rest of them are pretty good examples of what you might run into. This deck plays very good into engine decks because it's going to prevent the opponent from having the ability to set up their engines, right? We have 4-point removal here. We can chip away with the Aparian Phantom. We have Frost. We've got, you know, Bruisers that just eat up engines. We've got a natural selection to help with that as well. Wild Hunt Warriors to help with that as well. The Drowner, like everything's just chipping away. So it feels pretty good. It's going to struggle against decks like Sahil. For that sort of matchup, the Mahakam Ale helps a little bit, but again, we just kind of have a really difficult time with that matchup. I'll include that matchup in the games today so you guys can see what I mean. Thoughts to sort of tech into that could be something like a one-off Golden Froth, right? It could be maybe going as far as putting the Vial as well in the Bronze End. Maybe that could be something to prevent it, but it's tough, right? You could just go like that and call it a day, and that might just be fine. Okay, so there's that. Now, actually, I might just include it that way when I upload it, to be honest with you. But we have, in round 1, the strategy would to be get out the old Spear Tip Asleep, to thin out the old Spear Tip and bring the base power to 18, because it's going to be taking on the base power of the old Spear Tip Asleep. Maybe we go and we play Yigern because it's another big slam that is somewhat vulnerable if they can chip off the armor. Okay, so, you know, getting those 2 plays out there, and maybe a bronze engine or 2, whether it's the Drowner for the Thrive engine or the Nagelfar's Crew, should be enough to win the round. Try not to get super greedy with leader charges early if you can avoid it. Try not to spend all of our frost conditions early if you can avoid it, because when we go into round 3, we kind of want to have at least one of the Foglets in hand, right? Preferably 2 of them. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, why don't we have Megascope, and why don't we put like a Darin, and we just kind of make a spam or spawn spam, whatever the case, of Ancient Foglets. I tried it, it didn't really work out, and in fact, I felt like the one Megascope was awkward because we didn't really have any good targets beyond the Foglet, and at one point I even put in the Witch Apprentice, and again, it felt pretty awkward, so I just didn't want to have that. Okay, so you can maybe adjust it to your liking, but this is just what I found to be the most successful. It's really easy to get dominance with these huge swings, whether it's 18 points, whether it's the 13-point swing here, whether it's Osril on either of those. So that's going to help a lot of our plays because we have this that revolves around dominance, right? We have the second condition of this. We have the Purify that gets the dominance. Now, I opted to go for Nagelfar's Taskmaster to get through defenders, and we get the extra point if we play it on opposite row of a row with Frost because the passive leader, which is why we chose that instead of like a Pellar, right? So we want to have dominance for that. We want to have dominance for the, I believe there's one more. There we go, Eridan as well. So increase the damage dealt by Frost by 1. It's kind of a big deal, right? So that's why I have that there. Dominance is not really hard to get. We have hard control for scenario or tall punish if we need to get something, you know, on their side of the playing field out of the way. If we're playing against knights, for example, maybe we want to get rid of like a 20-point unit. So we have to be able to do that. Tons of frost, right? And this is an echo card, so we could play it twice. We have the Oniro, which we could play twice. So Lady of the Lake just plays really well for those. What is a monsters deck of mine without Toad Prince? I really have a hard time letting this card go. I think it's one of the best monster cards in the game. So, you know, going and getting that ability to consume one of their 4 power engines is huge. It could be a Fletter, it could be a Necrorat, it could be an Alp, it could be a Siege engine, it could be one of the long ships in Skellige, like so many different things, part of the movement package for Scoia'tael, a Syndicate tax collector, you name it, right? This card's going to eat it, and we're going to like it, so that's pretty much it. Good engine, synergy with leader, being able to chip things down, that's pretty much what this is for. The Foglets are made to grow to 20 plus points, so we are receptive to tall punish, but we knew that as soon as we started throwing these cards in the deck. So, you know, if these get tall punished, then these live, and it's just fine. The Red Riders, pretty cool stuff. We get 1 of 3 abilities we choose depending on the situation, what it allows us to do, what we need to do, whether it's more frost, or whether it's replaying a card. The replaying part could be pretty good for like a bruiser. If we got to split the rows up, right? That's a huge thing for us. If something gets locked, we could replay it, which is great. You know, so a couple options there. If we need another Purify, we can replay it. So you see where I'm coming from with that, okay? Nagelfar's Crew, one of the best monsters bronze engines, I guess, in the game, right? It spawns frost. It also boosts itself by 1 per turn, so we play this early on in the round before we take these, before we take this, before we take leader charges. We're going to get the most value from this. I have ways to maybe boost it up so it stays alive. If it gets locked, we could purify it. You know, we have the Crystal Skull in case you want to boost one of those to prevent it from getting locked early on, because I do value them quite a bit. That's pretty much it, right? So there's that. And then, of course, Ale, just because they are valuable, and Ale because cards like Eridan I find are valuable too. We want to get the extra points every turn. We want to keep dominance. So because we have engines and conditions surrounding dominance, Mahakam Ale just makes sense, okay? And then lastly, Drowner, because we can't get enough bruisers, right? If it were a devotion version, we can run the King Oberyn, which there's an argument to include, but I just didn't feel like it was absolutely necessary. It's expensive, right? And we're not getting this last condition, so we're only getting Create and Play Wild Hunt. That's it. Don't love it, you know what I mean? So I just opted to take it out, right? If at 12 provisions, you could see why I didn't want to put it, because most things will just play for around the same, if not a bit more points. But yeah, that would normally be able to pull a bruiser, so I just have the Drowner in there to kind of give us that third option, potentially up to 5 movements if we have Red Riders to redo 2 of them. So it's pretty cool stuff, right? That's pretty much it, guys. If you're looking to get to pro rank, I don't see why this deck would give you problems. It's fairly competitive. I think it's somewhat difficult to pilot because you are playing around dominance. You have to know your opponent and know when they're going to be taking their tall removal, but it's a lot of fun. It's unconventional. It works against a lot of things, and again, it keeps the game a little bit interesting, especially if you've hit a rut where you feel like you've done everything or tried everything, you know. This could just be the next best thing. So that's pretty much it, guys. I have a couple more off-meta decks this week, but we'll also be focusing on some more like serious and, you know, competitive stuff as well. But again, I've been having tons of fun with stuff like this. So give it a try for yourself. Let me know what you think, and let me know in Discord even, guys. Hop in the server if you like. We're about 800 members in the server right now. If you have an idea for non-devotion frost that can make it even better, let me know. I want to see it. Okay, maybe I'll play it on the next stream or something like that. We have a deck discussion in the Discord, so go in there, throw your links up. I'd love to see it, guys. But for now, let's get into the content, and if you enjoy the content that you see, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's been a little bit slower over the last month, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it, guys. So that's pretty much it. See you guys tomorrow, and yeah, look out for a new video then. Onward! And we got Knights up again here. Movement's good. We have consistency. I think one of these can go though. 2 bruisers, 1 round feels expensive. This is good for an engine. This is good for an engine. Same thing applies here with all this stuff. Honestly, that feels like a play-in type of hand to me. That's kind of a big deal, yeah. I don't want to fall into the trap of heat waving this and then losing out on the scenario. You know what I mean? But I think we have to. Place for too many points. It's gonna be... It's a pretty good toad. I mean, I could just move it, but... That's not a bad idea, honestly. We get the start with this too. Because, like, if I play in and we can get scenario out, then we can essentially justify that heat wave that we would have taken. You know what I mean? And this goes here. I don't think we do anything else. We just get that thrive going. Yeah, bleeding in, taking scenario, it's literally the same thing. 2 points per turn. I think at that point we get rid of that. Can I respect the thrive curve a little? Yeah. Let's do that. Turn off the engine. Guess next turn they turn that back on. I guess we have time to do this then. I don't really want to play something as slow as this, but yeah, it's probably just this. We're getting to the point in the round where they're looking to get out. I'm looking to thin. Okay, that's fine. It's not worth at this point taking ale. I don't have dominance. It's a weird situation with that for the purify. $21. We could do this now, I guess. It's not gonna hit, but it's gonna keep us in the round. Okay, all we need is 6 points. We just play one of these, don't we? The thrive curve's back too. So Drowner's playing for a lot of points in this deck. There's almost consideration to run 2. Vandergrift comes here. Only if we had dominance for a purify. It's not the shield. It's definitely the Oniro. However, is it the Yigern? I think it is. Just go for the point slam. This short period of time? Yeah, there you go. Now we can bleed out scenario. That's kind of nice. For the squires, right? And then we can just get one of these. Let's see what we can do without self-bleeding. Before they take a squirrel as well. From our grave. This way, if they try and crank that to get resilience,
when one falls, another replaces him.
we can purify it if we have dominance. Looks like we have time to go and take this. Here. Is it ever worth taking Eridan? Eridan probably plays for the most points. We have to get the shields off though, because we do not have a lot of points. Oh, that's pretty good too. If they don't boost it, we take the toad on that. Watch them take mad charge though. If they miss scenario, we're just going for that 2-0. Okay. I decided to play in here just because I don't want them to take this. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be the Knight Errant we take. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. I'll take the card advantage just in case they can actually pull this off the mad charge and stuff. They'll have to use leader too, maybe. Good call. And they're stuck using leader as well. That's lovely. So we could have had it the 2-0, but now we just have the security. Okay. I think this can go. It's a short round. And then this is not bad either. Yeah, I'm going to believe in the process. I think we have enough to win here. We respond to the first say here if they play in the other row. Actually, that's kind of a big deal. Let's do this first. There we go. We got dwarves coming up here next. This feels horrible. Well, they need armor, we're taking off armor, so it kind of works out a little bit, I guess. I think it's too early to play Osril, right? And then this can go back as well. Maybe something's row locked. This could see some value. Or at least sort of prevent them from stacking, actually. Like, that's an advantage that we have, is just preventing the stacking. We've got Frost in round 1. I think this can go back. That's a good draw. So we shouldn't get caught. If I go and take Spear Tip Asleep first, we have it pretty quick. A lot of times, I don't think they have a lock. There's a lot between like that 5 and 7 provisions in dwarves if they're running standard dwarves. Exultant's Company, you know, Barclay, like all that type of stuff. So Duregare is not really like maybe the primary focus. Just get the engine started, I guess. Good call, because this one doesn't even have armor. So they have one unit that's not a dwarf in hand.
We'll put Mahakam boots to Imperial arses.
I think we can we afford to... Yeah. It has Thrive. Boost that so it can't be locked. I can't remove it. We get the big swing here too. That's actually really cool. Yeah, I like it. We eat the heat wave early. That's the card that we're looking at then. They don't have an answer to this, do they? You get the Thrive value off it. That's pretty sweet. Sorry, they have one non-dwarf unit, so it wasn't the heat wave that we're talking about. There's a unit. Respect the Thrive curve, right? We have this proccing now when we play our next card. I'm pretty sure we can afford to just go and take the Ard Geth, though. So we won the round off of bronze cards. Well, actually, no, we had the spear tip combo. Yeah, that's what it was. Long round 3 could be annoying. We'll see what we pull first of all. This is probably not very good here. Don't think we need ale anymore. There's a lot I need to pull. I think we can actually try and set up Osril here. Just go and take that for the Yigern at least. Get some thinning done. They might panic and play... Yeah. You see? They might try and flip the tokens, which could be pretty annoying. I think I'm supposed to see if we can just take it another turn. I'm expecting Monroe. I have to make it awkward for them, so if they have Resilience plays, maybe they can't afford to play them, because they don't tempo. Zoltan here does that, which is unfortunate, but most other things don't, and if they take Zoltan here to boost them, then they can't flip them, and that's just 2 less Rowdy Dwarfs they have for later. They still might do it though, that's the thing. But there's a lot of armor. It's a lot of armor. I'm thinking about just doing this actually, guys. I think we can get away with it. It looks like I have a bit more of a say of what's going on. They used pretty much all their control. And they still need the dwarfs. Yeah, there we go. Now it's a little something. It's cooldown 1, so they still have to play more turns worth of discard, you know? It eats here, eats here. They might have to play 2. I think I'm just gonna try and see what happens. Like, they probably do get it in 1, but let's see if they have more dwarves and all that sort of thing. I think that was a good enough bleed. Like, seeing this is kind of important. Heat waves out of the way. We have a pretty good swing with this. Non-dwarf unit. Oh yeah, it's probably a chariot, that's right. Okay, getting out the combo is really good. And then they're gonna have to use leader here if they wanna tempo. Wait, no, 2? Actually, yeah. Yeah, because we have Frost and we have Crew, which gets the boost. And they might hit armor. Like, at least one of them. They have to, yeah. That was a good call. So, no resilience carryover play. Maybe they have Brewer, but we have a heat wave for that in our deck, right? Pushing, and yeah, they're gonna have a hard time stacking too. I don't think I'm supposed to play this anymore. It's not much better. I gotta be careful with that last mulligan. Sometimes you just want to like look for the best thing ever, but yeah, this could have been better actually than this. Who knows? Maybe there's another chariot that we could just knock off with the selection anyways. That's a lot of provisions though spent within these and the heat wave and stuff. We'll start with something like a Parian Phantom.
Was it so plowing crummy in Nilfgaard?
Yeah, that's for the Brewer they're gonna hide, right? Sure. I don't get the leader passive, but let's just start getting some points on the board. This is kind of annoying though. If they keep padding this up somehow, like I don't think they're running temperings in this deck though. It's possible. I think it's Brewer next. We just push and then heat wave, I guess. Yeah. Here. I think before anything else, we just push it. We just push it back with the bruiser. Yeah, let's get these rows split up, and then 3. I like the odds. Is it enough points? Is it enough? I've got Ardgeth, which arguably doesn't play for enough because the armor, right? Both of these out of the way. Both of these out of the way. Brewer's out of the way. Where are the rest of the provisions? That's for a bronze. Hopefully it's like a miner or berserker. I think we have to take Toad there, unfortunately. Okay, I gotta play Art, because it plays for 0 points and then 2 points on the range row. We're losing value. Foglet would have been kind of nice, actually. It's a boost all type thing. I guess. Let's go. I might just have it. Wow. I think we do. Let's go. So we got vampires coming up here next. It's probably gonna be the Renfrey one, right? I think Purify can go. I think Ale can go as well. But Oswald doesn't really do much for me here, so maybe we put back Oswald because we can't play him. Letter, typical. I need engines. Actually, I'm gonna put this back because we'll start chipping at it and they'll be wasting bleeding if they want to keep it going here. Would probably just eat it, but we could save this for the next one even. Again, we'll see if they're willing to spend like all that extra value on just like this one card. Yep, looks like it. Both rows. Like, if they want to give this 3 bleeding, by all means, use the leader charge or whatever the case. I think if you had Necrorat, you'd probably play it sooner, because Alp is a little bit expensive, where you can engine off with Necrorat nicer.
Be not afraid. This'll only hurt.
It's a pretty good toad. So they did play Megascope, so chances are it's not Renfrey, right? I wasn't counting cards. Okay, no, I'm pretty much confirming that it's not at this point. Which is actually good. They bring back both. That's a pretty good move. This is higher base power.
Run, run. You'll not get far.
We'll keep pushing here because it doesn't matter for me if I win on even. It just matters that I win and have last say. So something like this is really nice to see because we could play Yigern, get the carryover play, and not have to worry too much about anything else. And then Foglets could get pretty wild. Necrorat Tech. Actually, we're doing the same thing anyways. Lady of the Lake into a Neuromancy into Spear Tip. I think they give it bleeding, but they might waste a leader charge.
Welcome back, Geralt of Rivia.
You see what I mean? They take a leader charge to deal with it, and then they're out of a leader charge. We get the thin that we're looking for. We don't have to worry about just losing that play next round. We also have a better shot at drawing the heat wave organically. Oh my. I'm just gonna pass. I think that's the play. They play a flitter, it brings back a flitter, they use both, and then we get the... Let's go. We actually get card advantage on the bleed too, because the 0-point turn's massive. Okay, Oriana as well, wow. I'm feeling pretty good about this, guys. I don't think they have Osril in a deck like this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. This looks Golden Necker so far because they have Royal Decree. I haven't seen anything above 9. They have Necromancer's Tome, Roach, like all that. So I'm expecting Golden Necker. It might not be. But actually, maybe in that event they do have... I gotta be careful. This could maybe... What am I really pulling from deck? It's 1. I wouldn't mind like a Foglet though. Okay, now we can just pull 1. There are 2. I think we just need 1. I like the way that this is right here. Maybe I'm supposed to just go and take Osril from the beginning. I don't know. This has to stop though. I'm gonna wait till next turn. Yeah, I'll put a Foglet and then I'll push. I don't want to waste points. We gotta do that because we could Bruiser onto this row. Just getting rid of the engine feels really good. So they don't have Regis in this version, so we don't need the Heat Wave, I don't think. Again, we still have to find out, but... Oh. That was a clean finish, though. Alright, so we got Patricidal coming up here next, right? It's looking like it. I could deal with one of them. think we get rid of this, of course. And we stop playing units. We can get rid of, well, that because we have to thin it out. So I get rid of one of them. This is so boring. Unbelievably boring. Chances are it's Renfrey too. Thought about putting Nithrol. I tried it. It didn't feel good. I don't recommend it. Because I was thinking about pinging these, but it didn't feel great. Is there any way? There's nothing we can do. You could take a Navigator, but then you have to put a bunch of frost to boost your own unit, and it just felt like kind of a annoying tech, you know? Both. They have armor on the back row. We get the most points on the front row. Okay, so it's at 3 so far. I got nothing. I would need them to pass.
Parting spirit, what needs ye to flee this world ever free?
It's gonna be our heat wave, I think. Because they just purified it. 10 turns of rain with Fukusha is really gross. Let's make it awkward for them to play. Good. Put that back so we're not playing into it. Can't take Osroll. Maybe this? A lady plays for 3 points. Actually, we're good here. Good.
Your souls will propel this launch.
We made it out of the round. It wasn't very comfortable at all, right? Because we have a lot of like really low powered cards. However, we got a lot of that awkward stuff out of the way. I just wanted to stack on a row because I felt like it was just like the right thing to do. Just like provoke a pass. Get rid of that. Gotta get rid of all the low power stuff here.
Stench of beer. I knows it well.
This is definitely not run-free sale. There's too many special cards, not enough cards in the deck, right? So at least this is gone. They have Fukusha, I would imagine, because they purified the Arniolf. So they'll Fukusha back what would probably be a boat, which we would just push back. Otherwise it would be a Warlord, and because we have last say, we just have to slam down points the best we can at that point. Okay. Good. That's a lot of stuff I need. A lot of stuff we don't want. That's a bit better. At least I could respond to what they're doing, which makes it incredibly awkward for Zale, right? Because they want to go and they want to hit what we've got and then just keep it going. So they're going to have to start playing units, and then it's going to make it worse for them. And if we get something like this out early, then we can bring it back. So I'm assuming they kill it, right? How many gutting slashes? Just one so far? I'm expecting another one. Maybe a couple of stunning blows as well. We'll just play in the opposite row of rain for sure. Yeah, easy.
Show us what you got.
So they must have a lot of raid cards coming here in round 3. I guess it's just something like this then. Let them waste. We'll bring it right back. I would imagine that the spear tip probably gets clipped like fully, so we might have to go and take this. Got a couple more turns of rain here. We'll use this now and see what happens. Maybe they have another one in hand? It's possible. I'm just worried about these. Yeah, that's gross. So next turn? Next turn we'll go and try and play this. We can keep the 3s as long as we can for them to play Syl. In fact... Well, actually we don't want to play Lady of the Lake either. Yet, at least. So it'll be this. And then possibly that. What's it gonna be? Blood Eagle's at 5. That's expensive.
Raid, refight, plunder, full service.
Sure. And it deals for 7. And they just clip the rest of it. Disgusting. If I'm going in for the spear tip, they can't use the sail. This turn at least, so that feels pretty good.
Women, children, elders, we spare none.
The righteous shall be recompensed.
And then we got the Jaeger in here for 13 less. Say chances are they have King Bran. That's 5.
Resist the Jarl's will, and that's how we'll end you.
I think I gotta play this next. Yeah. Let's take it on the 13. Just hope it's not a Heat Wave or Morkvarg or anything like that. But at this point, we just gotta do what we have to do. Right? Sail and what now? That's what it comes down to. Super uncomfortable play. We're up by 4. We'll be up by a little bit more if they don't have Tall Punish. King Bran boost by 6, 14 point play. I don't have it.
For me.
It was a good effort though, 4 points. So we got Nilfgaard double cross coming up here next. I don't want to be holding Heat Wave. I also don't want to be holding this. And Lady Lake is bricked in round 1, so we can't take it. That's fine. Ah.
By the Fiendu.
Do we ever just like push it back and use Phantom on it? It is on melee though. So maybe not? 2, 4, 1. It could just be selection and then push. It's not very ideal to go and do something like that, but I think we're supposed to. And then if they play one of the 4Ps, we could push it back with a bruiser and it feels pretty good too. Or just use this. Hopefully we get a snag on the back row. There we go. Let's go.
Quite literally.
I think we take this now. Just because I want to get that value quick, right? There we go. And if they play any more engines, we have to kind of deal with those, you know? I just hope that they don't have Yen. Or Heatwave. free value. We're talking about something similar earlier on stream where Griffin, you could do that. The problem is if they purify that Jaeger now, it dies, right? We didn't gain any armor. I think we can afford to go and take a little frost. I'm used to seeing Winter Queen pop out when we have frost, but the fact that this popped out is kind of funny.
And if I insert a needle
That's a really good
here,
play.
what
They can
then?
coup it. It might not be coup though. I think we just keep going with it here. Maybe they have coup. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have yen. Maybe they don't. I gotta see if I can get leader out at least though. Oh, Nero could be kind of bad. They have 3 choices instead of 5, so they could be rolling like... Literally, they could roll these 3 and have a horrible time. They could also roll Nero for a Purify. Okay. $10 we need. I think it's actually going to be one of these. Makes them have to play Terra Nova if they want to stay in the round. And then we don't have to worry about it as much. I would hope so at least. Nice. So if we can get them to, let's say, play Terra Nova into it in round 2, which is, I'm assuming why they played the spying, then we can go, we could take round 3 Osriel. We'll put that back. We'll keep that back too. Just gotta play in. This could be like cultists. Yeah, it looks like cultists and assimilate. There it is.
That's order. And out
It's gonna be at a 7. And there's nothing we can do about it. We could take this, try and chip away, but I think it's still leader, Heatwave. They go into a Negofar's crew. Let's see here.
Welcome back, Geralt.
Let's just try and cram it. All this frost? Okay. The bruiser value is just too good. And then we get the 3 hit because we have the dominance. And now we don't have to worry about getting around that defender, so if they do play anything crazy. Such good value off these. Just too bad they didn't make any frost, right? I'm pretty sure I still just go and take. And then we can take a bruiser maybe next turn when they use the boost. There it is. That's what we're looking for. So they get base copy, which is not as good. I think Jaeger is still better. Let's take this. Wait, it's dominance, so we need to bring this forward. What's used now? Yeah, keep the dominance. They'll have to use Truffle to stay in it.
Do I enjoy torture? Perhaps. A bit.
And then we just pass on that. They play the last card, we get the Oz roll uncontested. Okay, they know.